Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Red Cape Sports. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it because I delve deep into the top 4 Heisman candidates, and then later on in the episode, Mitch and his pack time search for Zion. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it.
This episode's brought to you by Red Cape Films.
Welcome back everyone to Sideline Report. Bianca Andreescu capped off her magical 2019 season with the Lou Marsh Trophy, which is given annually to Canada's Athlete of the Year. The panel of Canadian media members unanimously voted the teenage star as the winner. Andreescu is the first tennis player to receive this honor. Andreescu was also nominated for the Women's Tennis Association's Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year awards. And in college football news, LSU finished the regular season ranked number 1 in the Associated Press Top 25, followed by Ohio State, Clemson, and then Oklahoma. The Tigers will now head into the postseason, having been atop the AP poll for the last 7 weeks. The Tigers received 47 first-place votes in the poll, represented by the Regions Bank. The Buckeyes had 12 first-place votes, and then Clemson received 3. The Sooners moved up 2 spots in Sunday's ranking after winning the Big 12 championship. Number 1 LSU will now take on number 4 Oklahoma, while the number 2 Buckeyes will look to avenge their 2016 loss that was 31-0 to Clemson, and they'll look to knock off the defending champions. That will all take place on December 28th. And the Russian flag and national anthem were both banned from next year's Tokyo Olympics and other major sporting events for 4 years on Monday. Russian athletes will be allowed to compete in major sporting events, but only if they are not indicated in positive doping tests or if their data was not manipulated, and this is all according to the WADA ruling. Still, however, it is unclear how the ruling will affect the Russian teams taking part in the World Championships, such as soccer's World Cup. Russia's anti-doping agency can appeal the decision to the Court of Arbitrations for Sports within the next 21 days. And there you have it, folks. That has been your Sideline Report. Please be sure to stay tuned. There's a lot that you don't want to miss. For Bird Bouchard, this is Red Cape Sports.
Power Play!
Hello everyone and welcome to this segment of Power Play. And I hope you all love football, and college football specifically, because that's what I'm going to be talking about for the next little while. So if you haven't heard so far, the Heisman candidates, the 4 candidates to go to New York have been announced, and 3 of those 4 names, believe it or not, are quarterbacks who actually transferred schools just last year. Currently, the overwhelming favorite to win the Heisman is Joe Burrow. Followed by him, we have Justin Fields. Then we have Jalen Hurts, and even a defensive player in Chase Young. Now, no defensive player has won since 1997, and that was Charles Woodson. But I will go a bit more into detail on why Chase Young actually does have a legitimate chance to win. So actually, with that being said, we'll kind of work, in terms of dark horse all the way up to the favorite. So Chase Young, where do we begin with Chase Young? This guy is an absolute beast. He's a monster. Say whatever you want about him. This guy literally needs to get triple teamed. I was watching the Big Ten Championship really, really closely on Saturday night. And unfortunately, basically the entire world, except for Joel Klatt and myself, thought, this guy's really got this Heisman chance, this Heisman moment. When's he going to step up to the plate? But if you watch the game, he was double and even triple teamed nearly all night. And this is a player who's, he really puts the team on his back. Actually, he's put up better numbers than the Bosa brothers, both Nick and Joey. And we all know how great of, pass rushers they both are. Now, I want to dive quickly deep into some stats here. So I already mentioned that he could be the first defensive player to win the Heisman since 1997. That's a long time. So if that doesn't tell you, how good you truly need to be a defensive player to actually even be considered for this award, then I hope it does. Now, he was first in tackles for loss. Pretty crazy. He was also first in sacks. So he had 16 and a half sacks, okay? And he was second in forced fumbles. So the stats are definitely there. But what's even more crazy is he was actually suspended 2 games. Now, is that suspension going to come back and haunt him? Probably. Was it that bad of a thing he did? So if those of you who don't know, really quickly, I'll just let you know what happened. So Chase Young took out a personal family loan. They said, they didn't say the exact number, but they said it was around $1,000-ish. Now, where he went wrong was he actually took this from a quote-unquote booster. And the reason why they're calling it from a booster, which obviously you can't do as an NCAA violation, is because he made friends with this said individual or individuals. We really don't know more details than that. But regardless, he did make contact with them after he arrived at Ohio State. So had it been a family friend, someone who he's kind of established a long-lasting relationship with previously, it wouldn't really affect him. But regardless, to miss 2 entire games and to still lead in sacks, to be the number 1 guy in tackles for loss and then second in forced fumbles, it's absolutely ridiculous. Chase Young should be considered very, very seriously, not just by the selection committee for the Heisman voters, but really by everyone. All year long when he had to step up to the plate for big plays, Chase Young was the guy who really put the Buckeyes on his back. Do I think he'll win? No, I don't. I just think that the other candidates have too big of resumes. Maybe had he stepped up a bit more in the game against the team up north, or Penn State game, obviously he stepped up and played well first game back from suspension. But more specifically, had he actually stepped up in that Big Ten title game, I think he would have more of a legitimate chance. But anyway, that's everything there for Chase Young. And then now you have Jalen Hurts. What more can you say about Jalen Hurts? This is a guy who just knows how to win football games. Very, very unfortunate that he did kind of have to transfer due to Tua Tagovailoa coming in and kind of replacing him. But hey, national championship game, you really don't perform before halftime, it's going to happen, right? Bama's got the tools, and Nick Saban's really not scared of replacing you if he needs to. But Jalen Hurts, this year he threw for 3,634 yards. Maybe not the craziest numbers in terms of quarterback, but he reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson in the sense that he's a dual threat quarterback. So, there it is, 70% completion. So, obviously he can beat you with his arm, but it's really his legs, right? And we look at former winners, Lamar Jackson, RG3, and even Johnny Manziel. Those were all dual threat quarterbacks. And here's the stat that really jumps out to me, at least. So he rushed for 1,255 yards. That is actually good enough among running backs for 20th in rushing yards. So this is a quarterback, who threw for 3,600 yards, and he also rushed for 1,200 yards. Definitely, and I get it, he did play in the Big 12, and they do have that unfortunate bad rep for, not really having great defense. But 3,600 yards passing, 1,200 yards rushing, including 18 touchdowns with his legs. Forget about it. That's crazy, and especially being top 20 in rushing yards. So he has a legitimate chance of winning, but again, I don't think he will. If he does win, certainly, a great choice. Can't really be too mad about that. He's put up some good numbers throughout really his NCAA career. So he's definitely a good candidate as well. Someone coming into the year that I thought personally would have a great year, but he's actually exceeded my expectations and had a phenomenal year, is Justin Fields. So he's another transfer quarterback, and I actually followed this guy's career watching QB1. So Justin Fields was a young elite high school quarterback. I believe he ended up winning QB1. If he didn't, definitely write it down in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong. But Justin Fields, he was arguably never going to play behind Jake Fromm, who's another great quarterback at the University of Georgia. So he made the decision to enter the NCAA transfer portal, and he eventually ended up becoming a Buckeye. And thank goodness, because as you all know by now, I'm a huge The Ohio State Buckeye fan. And I mean, J.K. Dobbins not getting in, that's another story for another day. But Justin Fields came in, and we knew with our backups, no disrespect to Chris Chugunov, and all the other backups. But if Justin Fields goes down, this is entirely a different Buckeye team. I mean, absolutely crazy. He's completely accurate with his arm. He's got a huge arm at that. He threw for nearly 3,000 passing yards. What gets to me more than anything, though, this stat here, he's thrown for 40 touchdowns, which actually breaks Drew Brees' Big Ten single season record of 39 touchdowns in a single season. So in one season, despite Dwayne Haskins throwing for 50, I mean, that's ridiculous. Probably should have won the Heisman himself. Justin Fields threw for 40 touchdowns and only one interception. So his decision making is it's out of this world. 3rd and 8, rather than taking a stupid sack or throwing an interception, he really just either runs for a few extra yards or throws the ball away. And I know that that's not going to win them the Heisman or anything like that, but a really great quarterback. So definitely glad to have him. And he's also a dual threat quarterback. He rushed for 471 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. So, I mean, this is a guy who's got a legitimate chance at winning the Heisman. And obviously as a Buckeye fan, I really hope that he does. But again, I just don't think that he will. I mean, he really didn't play too much in the second half of many seasons. Why? Because the Buckeyes just dominated. They were so dominant. And a large part of that was because of Justin Fields. But when it comes down to it, I don't think he will win. Now, you're asking me, Bird, you've rambled on for a while, but who will win? Well, who will win is a guy who sat on the bench behind Dwayne Haskins and, really himself. So Urban Meyer, what I'm getting at is Urban Meyer chose to sit Dwayne Haskins and Joe Burrow behind J.T. Barrett. Now, at the time, J.T. Barrett was, of course, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the Ohio State history. But let's dive a bit into Joe Burrow. So, because he didn't play and because of that leg injury, he ended up transferring, as a graduate transfer to LSU. Probably the best decision of his life. I mean, we saw what he did last year, but this year is really where he all put it together. This is his Heisman year. I can debate really for any one of these guys to win, but logic just tells you Joe Burrow is going to win this thing. It kind of stings being a big Buckeye fan, but you're also so happy for Joe. The things that Joe does still for Buckeye Nation is just out of this world. So he really still gives back to the Buckeye community. So anyway, first and foremost, 5 wins against top 10 teams. 5 wins. So does he have the clutch factor? Absolutely. Not only is he beating those teams, he's throwing for 300, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns when he's beating these teams. I mean, we saw, again, the big difference between, Jalen Hurts played okay in the Big 12 title game. Justin Fields played okay. Chase Young, not so much. Joe Burrow, right, in his SEC title game, he was amazing. On the season, he's got those clutch wins. So he threw for 4,715 yards, almost 5,000 yards, in just 13 games. Out of this world. That's actually good for second in the FBS, only behind Aaron Gordon. He was first in touchdowns with 48, only threw 6 interceptions. And I believe 2 of those weren't really his fault, but regardless of that, his quarterback rating, so QBR rating, is second. I mean, what more can I say? And 73% pass completion. So it's not like he's just throwing up the ball and, racking up these crazy numbers while also not being too accurate and throwing interceptions. So when it all comes down to it, 5 top 10 wins, 5,000 yards. So really, you're second in passing yards and you're first in touchdowns. Your team's number 1 overall. You're throwing 73%, pass completion. And your QBR rating is second. I don't know how you honestly give this to anyone else. So there you have it, folks. That is kind of my very, very, very brief, it's really my brief, takedown of who I think will win the Heisman and kind of just a glimpse into their future. So there you have it. Joe Burrow, Saturday night, will be, the 2019 Heisman winner. So thank you all so much for watching this segment of Power Play. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you think I'm wrong about anything, or hopefully you guys agreed with me. Either way, love to hear your comments down in the subscription. I'll definitely try to stay active on that, and we can definitely spark conversation and debate. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.
Pack time.
Welcome to another installment of Pack Time. We've got 2 more packs, and these are going to be, again, the Panini Prisms, and that's with the beautiful Zion packaging. We've already opened up 2 here last week. So we've already opened up 2 packs. Let's get into the next 2. So let's get right to it. See if we can pull a Zion. Again, I just kind of tear from the top. Got to be really careful so you don't wreck the cards. I know it seems kind of crazy, but if you're going to collect these long term, they have to be in pristine condition. So we've got a Bridges card, a Joel Embiid. So when I was talking about getting the rookies, he was a rookie last year, I believe, and he's playing really well. So the beauty of these cards and kind of keeping up with it is the cards that you get now, like the rookies, those are going to be more valuable within the years to come. You're not only going to get to see how they're playing, but the prices will go up depending on how they do and how they perform as well. So he's starting to play quite well. I know he's very aggressive on the court, but that's a very cool card. And we got a Robin Lopez. Very nice. That looks a little bit different. Looks like a silver card. So notice how it's kind of got that little rainbow effect. So that's going to be your silver type card. Very nice card. And then we got a Darius Garland, and that's our rookie. So when it comes to collecting cards, especially sports cards, you want to get the rookie card. And the reason you want to get a rookie card is because when you get the rookie card, any card beyond that in their other years, they're just going to reprint that card. So him next year, they're going to print, who knows, maybe 5 or 6 other installments of Garland cards, but they're not going to be the rookie. So if you hold on to this card, it's going to be more valuable in the future. So when the player starts playing well, you could always go back and then pull this card, and then if somebody's looking for him, you might have it. So take care of your cards and hold on to them. But essentially you're looking for you want to be looking for the rookies. And again, we have great rookies this year. Here we go, another pack. Zion. Here we go, we've got a Tobias Harris. I don't know who that guy is. DeMarcus Cousins. Very cool card. There we go. We got a Donovan Mitchell dominance card. Very cool. And then a Chris Middleton. So no rookies in there, I don't think. This Donovan Mitchell card's pretty nice. He's a pretty good player right now. Again, we're looking for numbered cards, anything like that. But that's going to be it for this week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And then you're automatically entered for a chance to win a free pack of Panini Prism cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the store at the end of the month. We're going to buy a pack. Even if they're going to be, even if they're overpriced, we're going to buy them for you. All you have to do is subscribe, like, comment, and you're automatically entered to win. Good luck. We'll see you next week.
Well, that's all we have for you here, folks, here on episode 2 of Red Cape Sports. Thank you all so much for watching. We truly do appreciate your support. And please, if you have the moment, just leave a quick comment down below. We would love to hear back from you guys in terms of what you want our next episodes to be. So like I said, thank you all so much for watching. Thumbs up. See you next time.